It is welcome to our preview to vaal racing. Yes, indeed. In case you haven't heard and you are still in possession of a Turpentine book, which is where we were supposed to race on Thursday, we have now relocated to the vaal for the foreseeable future, certainly for January. And our meeting will be on the classic track, which is the inside track at the vaal. Times remain the same at the moment. 12:15 is the off time to that first of 9. We are going to head straight to race number 2, and that is where the bipot begins. And in race number 2, before we introduce our revered analyst, we have a scratching, and that is a 5 Royal Jacket in that first leg of the bipot. And just worth noting that Miss Valjalo will be riding 52 kgs throughout the afternoon, and I'll just highlight where the changes will take place. But now let's now move on to Daryl. Daryl, a very good morning to you. Racing today welcomes you as we courtesy of Waited to Win and look ahead to our 9 race program. We're talking bipots and exotics. How do you see the card?
I like the card, Cess. I think we can make some money. I find it very tricky, so hopefully we can get the races right where we've gone a little bit wider. Opening leg of the bipots, we are going to be showing the replay of number 9. Give me the spotlight. Clyde Basil has chosen these replays. I've opted to bank a number 11, no more, in my bipot. But let's go have a look at his debut effort when he ran 4th behind Tommy Atkins.
Right, you know, each time you elude or put it all on Clyde, most of them come through and win, so I hope that continues. Yeah. Each time you say, it's not me, it's Clyde, the horses all come through and win. Quite a shrewdy. But we're going with the 9, and give me the spotlight. That is in the colours of the Dandrades and Gaskell. It's Marco van Rensburg in the ride after a very, very good debut effort. Take over, Daryl.
Yeah, he's just behind them in the light blue over there. You can see just ahead of him in the Werner Silks is Force Publique. He's come out to win. And right down the inside is a Goge in the Davy Shaw Silks. He's also come out to win. That was a lovely effort. That was over 1400 up the vaal straight. He now goes around the bend for the first time. He's been stepped up to a mile. The dam one over 1400, however, his half brother is 20 drachmas, who is a 10 furlong mile and a half horse, 2,400. I can see him featuring, but I like the look of number 11, No More. Last time out, he was given a patient ride from a tricky draw. This time round, I think Calvin's going to put him in the race, and he stayed on extremely well when running 4th behind Trombolines. I think with that draw in his favour, I'll be very disappointed if he doesn't run in the top 2. So preference for 11 for me. So bank number 11, No More.
Thank you so much. That is Daryl's thoughts to that first leg of the bipot, and that'll be an outlay of 480 Rand. That's our solitary banker. We have 2 horses in the penultimate leg, which will be race number 6, and that is numbers 5 and 7. On to that start of the PA, race number 3 now. We're on the classic track. In case you're just joining us, you're most welcome as we preview vaal racing for Thursday. Right, you can bet on us. The maiden plate is over the 2,000 meters. And as far as the betting is concerned, well, it is a runner that has certainly got claims to win. That will be our topic of our rerun, and that's the 12 Azius Tiara. Regular pilot Trent Mayhew for his dad Craig will be teaming up. This will be an attempt number 18 to actually get out of those maidens. Now, we're going to go to attempt number 16 when running second, and that was on the stand side track of the vaal over to Morris distance. We are recording on a Wednesday for Thursday. 2,000 meters. Follow that up with a good run on the classic track over the 2,400. But let's go back to the penultimate run, and that is on the 23rd of November. And in that same race will be a certain name, Heroic Act, who again renews rivalries with the subject, and that is Asia Tiara. So Daryl will take us through as to what we can expect on a Thursday now that we are on the vaal classic track. That is for the first leg of the PA. So stand by, Daryl, to take us away. And a reminder that Savannah, that is Savannah Valjalo, will be only carrying 52 kgs as opposed to claiming 4 kgs. She'll only be claiming 2.5 kgs for the afternoon. Right, the rerun is coming up, and the next voice you hear will be Daryl's.
Yeah, there she is circled, Cess. I mean, she's very consistent. You need to take note of who beat her on this occasion, military moves, and who trains one of her biggest rivals here. The same trainer, Mr. Robbie Sage, trains military moves, and the Muzieni mount,
Kavamolka.
Kavamolka. So Mr. Sage will have a line of who he thinks is better. But also in that race, you touched on the fact that Heroic Act was just behind Isaiah's Tiara, and so was a horse called Euphrates. Euphrates has since then come out and won. And Kamal Malka has also beaten Euphrates. So there isn't going to be much separating the two of them. Obviously, Isaiah's Tiara is a filly and she gets her sex allowance. She's well drawn. She generally goes handy, so she should get given every opportunity to get it right in her 18th start. Number 13, Hatton Hills, has to be the improver. Last time out, it looked like a fair effort on paper, but Jaffa, on that occasion, absolutely bolted up. He won by 3.5 lengths. So she wasn't too far behind the second place runner. She's set to carry 52. I know she's got a wide road to contend with, but there's that long vaal back straight that she can get into a prominent position, hopefully with a bit of cover. The dam stayed. The dam won over 1950 and 2000. So I think the step up to the 2000 is going to be in her favor. I've gone with the fairer sex of here in the opening leg of the pier. I've gone with numbers 12 and 13. But in saying that, there isn't much separating numbers 7 and 12. Emerald City, if he can go a little bit handier this time around, I wouldn't be shocked to see him finish in the placings. And Camel Malka has to be taken seriously. Heroic Act is a quartet inclusion. So let's hope we survive. I do believe we got the potential of doubling up.
All right, 12 and 13, and of course the 13 to be partnered by Savannah is the full sister to Hat's Queen, who ran a very creditable race in the Oaks last year behind a certain fiery Pegasus, whom we still hope to hear a lot more of. It is a 384 rand outlay to that place accumulator. Race 3 is a start, 13.25 the offside. So now we're moving into the big one. The Pick 6 4th Thursday afternoon begins in race number 4. It is a fillies and mares 90 divided handicap. 2,000 meters is the distance, and now we've had an important scratching come through earlier on this morning. This is Wednesday morning. 4 Key Worker is a non, so that will leave us a field of 8. And just looking at the betting, the 3 Future Date, that is our favorite at 5-2. Number 8 is Elias for All, who was a subject of some hearty support last time out, and in fact it drifted in the... No, that was the one that was supported. The Stable Companion drifted. That is at 33-10. The Stable Companion, the 7 Boom Boom, that is at 15-4. It is the 9-2 about the 2. Free in Seattle, Stable Companion to the favorite, and the 7s and a Better Bothers. Talk about the favorite and the companion, the 2 Free in Seattle. They are the subject of our latest rerun, which Daryl is going to be talking us through. We go back to the 9th of October, and that was over a distance of 1,800 meters on the stand side track. And again, it's over to Daryl.
Yeah, Free in Seattle's the one circled on the inside running rail. Then you got Muzieni's mount says Future Date with the black cap, and you'll see Future Date just gets the better of Free in Seattle and goes away to win quite comfortably towards the end. Back in fourth was Boom Boom, and on that occasion Boom Boom was ridden by the apprentice Samba Bertia. So I know on paper that Boom Boom's held, but since then Boom Boom's come to terrific form and he's loving life since being stepped up to 2000. Samanga has won on her in the past, and I think she's a huge runner over here. Number 7, Boom Boom. Number 9, Back from War. You can see she's held on her last start, but she was racing a bit too keenly towards the back of the field. Despite that, she still ran on all the way to the line. I'm really keen to see how she goes over 2000. I want her to settle in running. Now, her second dam through a grade 1 win over 2,000 meters. So there is some stamina on the dam side. Future date, she's in cracking form. I just want to add this, that St. John Gray's stable's gone a bit quiet. He's had a lot of placings, but the last time he visited the winners enclosure was in the beginning of December with Argo Alley. So let's hope that the stable bounces back to having winners again. I don't like the look of the race. Even number 5, Ancient Wisdom, she was returning from a layoff last time out. If you watch the replay, she was caught wide. I thought she was going to compound in the straight. Despite that, she fought all the way to the line. So she's even formed part of my bipot. I've gone the field of yes. I'm hoping for a jolt. Pushed into the corner, I'm going to be leaning towards number 7, Boom Boom.
7 Boom Boom would be a marginal, just tentative first choice, but as you say, Ancient Wisdom after that lengthy rest, reunited with Chase, who seems to get a tune out of the horse. 3 runs, a win and a 4. That is the first leg of the pick 6, and as you can see there, as the man said, he's going with the field, including the scratching. And that'll be an outlay of 2,880, but a percentage is still going to suffice, because dare say we could get that upset in leg 1. Yes, indeed, we're approaching that time of the year where we look forward to our Triple Crown and Triple Tiara, and this year it commences on the 7th of February. That is when we see the guineas, both the colts and geldings, as well as the fillies guineas. So take a note, it is, of course, the championship beginning on the 7th of Feb here on the Highveld. 2,000 meters is the distance for this 5th race, the Guineas Day, 7 February, fillies a mare 73. And just having a look at the changes in a race number 5, we don't have any changes to speak of. We're going to be looking at an upwardly mobile type. Now, there's some hard knockers in the race, and we have a couple of 3-year-olds who do have the ability to hold their own against the older sorts, but it is one of the young ones. Grace's Kiss in the Hollywood Silks having a 3rd outing is when we catch up with this 3-year-old daughter of Eric the Red. Daryl is going to take us through the run. It was over the 1,600 meters, but that run suggested that 2,000 was within its grasp.
Yeah, there she's circled. Says towards her outside is a filly called Northern Kitten. Since then, well, a mare. She's come out and won. And further back is Opera Fan. I think she's got the club's colours over there, the black. She's also won. So the form line is holding up extremely well. Unfortunately, we only picked up this replay with 400 meters to go, and it doesn't quite tell what happened to this filly in going around the bend. She was well positioned by Savannah, and then it just went all pear-shaped for her, and she found herself second last turning for home. She moved in swiftly to nearly hit the front 400 meters from home, and she stayed on in the latter stages. She needs to prove that she gets the 2,000 meters. If this race was over a mile, she would be my clear-cut first selection, because I saw what happened to her last time out. Calvin must be really keen to reunite with her. Last time out, it was an apprentice handicap, so he couldn't ride her. I had a look at her breeding. Now, she's a half-sister to Master of Paris.
Yes,
he's found his niche now over 2,000 and 2,400 meters. So if she's like her half-brother, she's going to love the step-up intro. But he's by Master of My Fate, whereas she's by Eric the Red, who's known for sprinting, or 1,400 meters max. So let's see how she goes. I'd love for her to see out the extra, because she looks like a nice filly. Number 2, Rosie Lemon. If you watched that race last time out, Duchess of Paloma actually looked like it was a race over 400 meters from home. She swooped with 400 to go. She hit the front, and then she just found wanting in the latter stages, and there was Rosie Lemon to pick up the pieces over this very same course and distance. And that race only saw her get penalized 2 kilograms or 4 pounds. So I don't think that was a hefty penalty whatsoever. She's my second choice. If you like Alta Capitana, you have to like Little Miss Splendid. There's not much separating the two of them. And number 6, Apostrophe. The dam stayed, and she's by Futura. Last time out, just before the gates opened, she bobbled and she was on the back foot. In her penultimate slot, when she won a maiden, she was raced handy on that occasion. If she can push forward, I can see her being better than a 78 of this distance. So I've gone all of numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. In my PA, I went numbers 2 and 4.
Right, and you were talking about apostrophe now to put a full stop on the whole preview. The 9, Instant Attraction, a good improvement over the 2000 last time?
Yes, it was. It was good improvements. Yeah, she's honest though. She is honest. I mean, if you want to go wide, I certainly wouldn't put you off her. She must have some sort of chance. That was a nice effort in open company.
Thank you so much. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the selections for Mr. Marie in that first leg of Jackpot 1. And only 80 Rand, that will be the outlay. You know, for a Thursday meeting, a race number 6 certainly is a race to look forward to. Would grace any higher level meeting. And of course, we have some very useful sorts. Hard knockers, call them what you like, but they are horses that know how to hit that number 1 box. And of course, one of them that would have been a chance is the 3 Night Bomber. That is unfortunately a scratching. Now, and as far as the race number 6 is concerned, please again be reminded, this will be a last chance to get involved in a jackpot on the afternoon. We're racing on the classic track at the Vaal in the Northern Free State. Secret Chord from the St. John Grey stable is another favorite, 28 to 10, and those are familiar St. John Grey silks. Max the Magician, ultra consistent in the Nidam Silks, is at 3 to 1. And then you've got 33 to 10 about the 7, Mr. Wilson. The 8, its personal stable companion 2 Max, is at 4 to 1. It's 11 to 2 and better about those. I think you would not scoff at my comments there that this is a race that is worthy of certainly sitting up and or looking forward to watching.
Absolutely. Some lovely sorts over here. And I just wish our good friend Cameron Leisha would have a heart and give Gundo the day off.
Yes, yes, but
to go watch his horse, Mr. Wilson, win at the Vaal on Thursday.
We will have a word with Mr. Leisha. In the meantime, we would like to ask him if he could line up our replay. And it is Max the Magician, who is already in action in the pink cap. Take it away, Daryl. Ultra consistent.
Yeah, lovely effort last time out beyond Grand Empire. They're improving Grand Empire. And there were some strong sorts in this race. You had Pioneer squared towards the inside running rail. So you can see he got there and then he faded towards the end. And that's interesting that they're bringing him back in trip. He's only my 3rd selection, and I would have loved to include him now that I've re-looked at this race, because he's not without a winning chance over here. I've only gone with numbers 5, Esquivel, and number 7, Mr. Wilson. Now, Esquivel is in such a good space, and he's now peak racing fitness. So Savannah's probably, if he breaks well, going to go race handy, if not lead. And he's going to be on his bicycle in the straights. He loves the course and distance. I mean, he's yet to, he's won twice over here. He's run 2nd. So everything ticks the boxes with number 5, Esquivel, except for the gin boys, eh? No shoes. But Mr. Wilson is my number 1 choice.
Okay.
And you can see in his penultimate start, over the very same course and distance, drawn 1, he got the better of Antonio Gaudi, who's since then won himself. But last time out, when Calvin rode him, Calvin tried to bounce him and get him handy. But unfortunately, going into that first bend, he was caught 3 wide. And then Calvin opted to move him to the middle of the course. And he hung towards the inside. Now he's drawn 1 around the bend. And hopefully he can just take a seat off the pace. Because I'm sure Esquivel's going to go. And if Craig Zaki can get him to relax behind the front runners, he's got that inside running rail to guide him. And I think he's actually better than a 93. So I'm going in order 7, 5. If you want to go wider in my perms, please do add number 2, Max the Magician.
So Secret Chord, for you, favoritism, not popular.
Yeah, he's another one that's one of the course and distance. But yes, I don't want to really be kicking for touch in each and every race.
Yeah, of course. So 7 and 5 would be the selection horses, and then 2 Max the Magician would be the super sub, so to speak, or at least the horse that makes it all Up 5 and 7 by 2, 3, 4, 7 by 4, 7 by 2, 4, 7 and a 9. Two more races to discuss as we look ahead to the vaal on Thursday. All right, so we are moving on to our seventh on the afternoon, 15:45. I said two more to discuss, three more to discuss. Just shows how well I did in my maths. But it's a 1450 distance to the SA Derby, 4th of April, Pinnacle Stakes. And topping the boards, not too surprisingly, at evens is Tin Pan Alley in the Vernus Family Silks with Sean Terry and Keegan DeMello teaming up. Bob's Your Uncle, after a great run in the Grand Heritage. That is your second favorite at 5 to 1. It is 11 to 2 about the one Greaterix. That is at 11 to 2. And then you've got Press On Regardless, a big scalp last time out when beating Grand Empire. The 3 that is at 6 to 1. We're going to go to the rerun. And that rerun, I think, will make a very, very good reading indeed. Black and White Silks or Press On Regardless.
Yes, and right towards the back of the field on the outside running rail is Money Heist in the Glistian Silks. Now, on this occasion, Cess, I actually thought that Press On Regardless is going to be in trouble because going around the bend, he gave the favourites Grand Empire cover and he was exposed with no cover. So I thought she was Grand Empire getting the run of the race. But he was very, very gutsy and he fought him off. He's a lovely sort. If you go to his form lines, right, barring his WSB Grand Heritage run, he's really hasn't put a foot wrong. That run behind Minogue, he was caught wide on that occasion too. Craig Zaki gets on extremely well with him. Now, you opened up this preview saying there's no surprises to see Tin Pan Alley at the top of the boards, and that I agree with you. But at his current mark, I wouldn't be taking 2 to 1 about Tin Pan Alley. I don't think there's any gift in 2 to 1. I expect him to drift come race time. I say to the viewers, if you want to back him, wait for him to drift. I don't know. I could have read this race completely wrong, but I make several runners of here. He did disappoint last time at Tin Pan Alley. But I see they've put the tongue tie on him this time round. I mean, he's a lovely sort. And since he's been gelded, barring his last effort, I mean, he was unbeaten. And he beat Trust. So I'm keen to see how it goes this time round. But I'm not having a bet. Even if you offered me 5 to 2, I'd just be on the sidelines and watching him. I want to see him bounce back to his best. Money Heist. We touched on him. He was beaten by Press On Regardless last time out, but he was given a chance. And the way I think the race is going to be run this time round, if Bob's Your Uncle can ping those gates and Calvin can make use of him and set up second, he's going to get the run of the race. And I think he's going to run it blinder. I really like the look of number 4, Money Heist. He's 1.5 kilograms better off with Press On Regardless. And then you've got Bob's Your Uncle, 52.5, well drawn, loves the Vaal Classic, actually holds Press On Regardless on the Mastership run. I mean, he's going to be out there up front and attempting to fend them off. I've gone all of numbers 2, 3, 4, and 7 in the pick 3.
Okay, so now just a quick update on that form update. Not so much form update, but it's now 2 winners out of that Grand Heritage form line. You had Press On Regardless, who was way off 8.5 lengths behind, and even further behind was Hagen's Champ. And that's since I come through to win a decent race just about a week ago. But there is a school of thought in my ear that says that Press On Regardless doesn't enjoy the ball. So they just thought I should point that out to you. But don't shoot the messenger. That's your selections for the last pick 3, 2, 3, 4, and 7 in the first leg. Right, well, we've seen the last pick 3 selection in our last preview for the vaal. That was for race 7. Now we're going to be talking about the start of the last double, the penultimate event, race number 8, where you can pencil in the 3, Suitor, as your favorite. Back to form last time out, but just the price alone tells you the open nature of the race, and that is at 7-2. Number 4, Sonic Jet, is at 4-1, also finding a return to form. And then you've got 9-2 about the 11, Arashi. Last card to pass, the 7, that is at 5-1. It is 13-2 and a better bar those. Well, we can say the second favorite is going to be the topic of our latest rerun. It's in the colors of a once upon a time Summer Cup winner. Just 2 or 3 years ago, that was, of course, Raw Victory. Colors of Mr. Peter Victor, passionate about the game. And it is a Sonic Jet. Corey Lensley once again retains the services of Savannah Valjallo. And it's going back to the 20th of December. That was, of course, the 2025 Grand Heritage.
Yes, and you've touched on the fact that this form line's been franked with Press On Regardless, Tagan's Champ, and they finished towards the back of the field in the W Spree Grand Heritage. Now, Sonic Jet had no cover towards the inside rail. Right there, just got collared late. But what a smashing effort.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the first home of the fairer sex. And she's won of this course and distance in the past. I've just had a look at this race and I've said to myself, how much pace is in here? Famous Lady can go to the front. Suitor or Sueta, number 3, can go to the front. Sonic Jet can go to the front. Streisand and Arashi. Now, I hope there's going to be no cutting throats. Personally, I'd like to see Sonic Jet get to the front with that 4 kg claim off her back and relax up front. I liked her effort last time out. But because of the way I see this race being run, a filly like last car to pass, we'll be watching it all unfold in front of her. And if there's one filly or one horse on the entire card that's going to appreciate the switch to the vaal, it's her, because she doesn't enjoy the turpentine inside track. And she's got a neat draw if she can sit midfield. She's got a lovely turn of foot on her day. And I liked her effort last time out behind the Moafati. So I'm going 7 as the likely winner of the year. I've only gone 2 horses in my perms. I don't think that's enough. I would have liked to have a lot more, because I do believe it's a type of race that can spring a bit of a surprise. But I'm leaning towards number 7, last car to pass.
Ahead of the rerun selection, 7 and 4. So you and Clyde could be the exacta there. That is 7 and 4 in race number 8. There is a selection for that last double. As Daryl rightly points out, there are many with chances, not forgetting the likes of the 8-pointer. Highly regarded by the connections, I know from a personal experience. And of course, seems to be returning to form. Okay, so now we are heading into our curtain closer, the Lucky Last or the Get Out Stakes. I think there are so many names you could give the last race on the card. You've got the scratchings of the 6 Rattle Bag and the 10 Golden Aspen. Both are scratched for the same reason, change of venue. Nonetheless, we still have a very, very good race to look forward to. Right, just having a look at the betting. This is race number 9. Next Turpentine race meeting, and that won't be the case, but next meeting will be the 24th of Jan. Fillies of May 75, and that will be over the 1450 as mentioned. 6 and 10 are scratched. Now, as far as the betting is concerned, we did mention this name as the recent winner of a form line that we were discussing, number 4, Opera Fan, and that is at 18-10. Play with the Wind is at 18-10. Fair proposal. That is nowhere near generous as last time out when Mr. Marie found the source for us, is at 33-10. It is 11-2 and a better bar though. So we have a field of 9 runners, and it is Opera Fan, Paul Matchett and Rachel Fenneker teaming up. It was Mr. De Harbour who was aboard when victorious last time out, but Rachel will get the run. Let's go hand over to Daryl.
I don't know what Clyde's doing here, to be honest, but I mean, she's won her last starts and Clyde picked out the run when she ran second to Ringer Roses. But nevertheless, says we've touched on this filly in the past. Maybe Clyde picked it up because of Grace's Kiss running early on in the day, because she ran third in that race. But Opera Fan, if you just look at her profile, she's won 2 races, right? Both of those races, she led from start to finish. So one can say she's most effective when she's up on the pace. I don't think they're going to change tactics. They're going to hope that she breaks well, and they're going to allow her to stride up front, especially with that 1.5 kgs off her back. So she must be a real live wire over here. But we do have a form update, and that's for number 2, Play with the Wind.
Yes.
And she won extremely well. Her rating was increased, and now she's set to carry 62 kilograms off a 79. Will she line up? If she lines up, I make her the filly to beat. I've been impressed with this filly, and I think she's off a very low mark for a 4-year-old. But she only raced 5 days ago, and I'm unsure as to whether she's going to compete or not. So for that reason, I haven't suggested a win bet on number 2, Play with the Wind, and for that reason, I haven't bankered her in my exotics because I'm in the dark. So Opera Fan. If Play with the Wind doesn't run, Opera Fan is my number 1 choice. I agree with Clyde over here. Got respect for Fair Proposal. I've just been watching her, and she doesn't quite seem to take much interest early on in her races. She tends to not travel very well, but she does warm up, and then she finishes her races off. And a nice roughie for trifectas and quartets. Number 9, Far Reaching. She's back in her handicap, but have a look at her rating. It's plummeted to a 67, and I think if she can just sit behind the pace, she can certainly fill a place or fill a trifecta or quartet position over here. Like I say, if number 2 runs, she's my top choice. If number 2 comes out, Opera Fan is the one to beat.
Thank you so much, Mr. Marie. 2, 4, 7, and a 9. That is how we wrap it up for our vaal preview. That is Classic Track Racing coming through tomorrow. That is Thursday, the 22nd of Jan. And of course, you can now start looking ahead via your reliable and trusted website. That is Betway, to take your all to comes into Saturday week, because we now know who will be lining up in the Met 2026. Thanks so much to Daryl. Thanks so much to the production crew. That is Mrs. Alicia and Huissen. Thank you so much.